let's get it. Tap in. Tap in, tap in. This is the best podcast in the Carolina. SportsbettersMedia. I am Hip Hop Mag. C11 Studios. Got a special guest in the building tonight. One time, Tease. Big Poobie. All right. Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me, for sure.
Absolutely. Okay. Poobie, let us know where you're from and what area code you're repping, Jack.
I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, the South Side, 919 area code.
All right, man. Big South Side in the building, 919. Tap in. Poobie Chapman. All right. Tell us, Poobie, how was it growing up in Raleigh in your early years?
I mean, it's the same. I think I got the same story that everybody from from an urban community has. We was tight-knit, grew up in a couple different neighborhoods, but for the most part, I was on the South Side, basketball, fighting.
Yeah.
Regular, regular urban story from people that come from where we come from.
Very good, very good. Tap in, all right. Anybody want to give a shout-out to before we get started?
I want to give a shout-out to my mom, Jackie Davis. That's my dog, that's my girl, that's my everything. And then my son, Taj, Lil Cheese is what they call him, but them the only two for now. Sure.
All right, shouts out to Lil Cheese, man. All right, for the viewers and fans who don't know, Poobie, where did you play high school ball at?
I played high school basketball at Enloe High School in Raleigh, North Carolina.
There you go. Did you play with PJ?
Nah. PJ older than me. PJ was a big homie though. He was every place that I've said I was at, he was there before me. So we grew up in the Boys and Girls Club. So he a little bit older than me. So when the older dudes had the court, it was only one court. So the younger dudes had to sit down until they caught. If you was good enough, they brought you out there to stand around. So a couple times I got a chance to stand around with him when I was younger. But he was around. He was a face. He was a face that's constantly around here. So every level he goes, every level that he reaches, he come back.
That's right.
So that's kind of where all of this stuff come from. He was the first one for real.
Hey, that's what it do, man. That's what it do. Okay. How old are you now, Poobie?
30. I'm 30 years old.
Ooh, he just turned 30 Saturday.
Yeah, I'm 30.
Okay, shouts out to the
Yeah, 30. Yeah, I'll be 30. Nah, for sure. I ain't gonna front. Like, a lot of the times they ask you that question, like, how you feel? You feel older? And I ain't never felt older until 30. 30, I'm like, oh, I feel 30. I feel 30. I'll be 31 October 29th. I got a birthday coming up, so I'll be 31 for sure.
Hey, man, talk to us about that hat right there, Soul Food in Raleigh.
So it's a Raleigh hat. It's inspired. I ain't never talked about the inspiration, but it's inspired from the New York. I love New York, and I thought that's dope because I'm not from New York, but I thought of it as like a piece that if you was to ever go to New York, I would want I love New York T-shirt or something just because it symbolized that I was there.
There you go.
So I thought about something that would, show us that for Raleigh and being, of course, like the hardest for, my love for it. But I thought of it more as a tourist piece too. Like you can come here, and even if you ain't from Raleigh, if you support the movement, if you support the people from Raleigh or what Raleigh stands for, then you can grab this for sure.
That's it. Big merch, man. Y'all got any T-shirts as well?
Nah, I got sweatsuits coming out, so it'll be the same emblem on the hat. It'll be on the sweatsuit. It'll be on the hoodie for sure.
Very good. Did you go to Raleigh Day yesterday?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, how was
absolutely. It was crazy. It was crazy. I think it's, anything like that, I respond and I side on the side of demonstration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of people that talk about stuff and a lot of people that critique and give what they think should be done or what they think about other people's stuff. But I stand on the side of demonstration. So my brother Rome, shout out my brother Rome Jeter from the R with the extra R. Rome, I don't even know how many years it's been putting on. Like this is. I'll go ahead and give them 8, you know what I'm saying, of just constant building and constant. I remember where it was when I first went, you know what I'm saying, a couple years ago to see where it is now. A lot of people got complaints, and a lot of people feel like it should be done this way because of this, or maybe he should do this. But until you the person that's doing it, until you do something of your own, because that's where it birthed from. Raleigh Day birthed from somebody being from Raleigh and Rome being like, yo, September 19th, is 919. Like, we should celebrate Raleigh.
There you go.
And and not only did he do that then, like he's still trying to put on people that's, vendors and artists. He's an artist. So like, it's a music thing. It was. Now it's a whole bunch of different things going on, a comedy show, an award show. So for me, like, I support my brother. That's my dog. Anybody that's on the side of demonstration, I'm always gonna side with that.
That's right. And not only that, but it's all about community.
For sure.
All All right,
So.
tap in. Best podcast in the Carolina, Sports Betters Media. I am Hip Hop Mag, Poobie Chapman. All right, tell us what's changed in Raleigh in the past 20 years since you've been living here.
It's a lot. It's almost too much to name. But what I'll say is the authenticity of it. I think like we're going through a lot of where I'm from, it was called the South Side. Yeah. That's where I stayed at the South Side, and now, what gentrification brings. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what that conversation look like. That conversation, the easiest way to change something is to rename it. Yeah. So the first thing they do is take the name that was originated there, and then you kind of lose the people that stand on it. Okay. So if you're not changing the South Side, now you're changing the Southeast District. Yeah. And now that's easier to manipulate rather than saying, okay, this is that. So I think is the authenticity. I think in most urban communities right now, I think they're trying to take it. Yeah. And, that's not something that I think is being hidden. I think that's obvious. Okay. But what I would say is from where I'm from, the part of Raleigh that I'm speaking for, I think is the authenticity. I think there you go. A lot of people, that's from here are starting to realize, like, okay, we got to come back and show face because representation is everything. Yeah. And gentrification could be good, like I said, in a good way or a bad way. But at the end of the day, it takes away that flavor, that taste from Raleigh. For sure. That's right. For sure. Okay, tap in. Who inspired you growing up, man? Aside from my mom, of course, I would say, like, I take inspiration from everything that I see moving. Okay. So, like, even if it's, like, a positive, great thing, like, yeah, of course I'm taking inspiration from that. But also, like, the negative things that we may see. Like, I think a lot of people try to steer away from grabbing inspiration from, I wouldn't even say negative things, but things that's not so positive. That's like, the reason that I'm a high school coach right now, I would love to say that it was because I had great coaches and I always wanted to be a coach, but it's not, to be honest. Like, what inspired me to be a coach was seeing a generation of young dudes that played at the high school that I played for, not get the love or the resources, or not feel like that they were at a school that was lucrative to be a basketball player. So, like, looking at it, that's a pretty negative thing. Like, looking at it and seeing that, oh, does Enloe have a basketball culture? Like, and that's speaking to somebody that played for, I feel like, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm part of it. There you go. But, like, looking at it and finding inspiration in something that may not be as positive is something that I think we should embrace more. Right. You know what I mean? Like, we can see the neighborhood that you grew up in going downhill. That can inspire you to do something positive for that neighborhood. That's right. So I think, to answer your question, I wouldn't say one person. I would say just, being observant and being present in the situations that I was in. That's right. Hey, that's what it do, man. All right, we're keeping it 100, man. Best podcast in the Carolinas. Walk us through that recruiting process when you committed to NCCU. Oh, man. I think, like, I was top ranked in the state. I was ranked in the country. I had a lot of schools. I got shoe boxes that mailed from schools all around the country. I committed to VCU out of high school. I gave a verbal to VCU. Eric Maynard School. Yeah, and Eric was my host. Yeah, that's what's up. So I'm looking at Eric like, damn, I play exactly like dude. Like, we the same size. I'm kind of sizing him up like we the same size, and he just went to the league. Yeah. Like, this might be it for me. Yeah. My mom loved it. My mom loved Coach Shaka. Yeah. And I was a shoe-in. Like, I'm good. So I went back to school, and I was ready for my senior year. Like, oh yeah. And then something happened with Clearinghouse, and and the scholarships that they had available, and pretty much it came down to me having to find a year. Like, all right, listen, we want you, but it can't be this year. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you can go to Hargrave, you can go to Brewster, you can go to one of those schools that kind of get you a year. You can go JUCO for a year. Yeah. And me, like, the ego that I had and, like, the competitive spirit that I had, I'm like, well, I'm nice enough now. Like, what you mean? Right. You know what I'm saying? Of course. Levelle Moton, that's my OG. Yeah. But Vel was the one that was helping me through my recruiting before I even committed there. He's another fixture, another prominent figure in Raleigh that, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's ground zero. Come on now. So at the time, you know, he's a little bit more, you know, harder to get in contact with nowadays. But back then, he was somebody that you can go to the store, you can go to the gym, and you will see him, and he'll provide that insight. But you know, he was helping me through it, and he was just like, you know, you can always come to Central for a year.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And then figure it out. I'm like, all right, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I had never even thought that I would go to an HBCU. Like, I live right up the street I grew up right up the street from St. Aug. Like, literally, my dad went to St. Aug. I went to homecoming every year.
Wow.
It never dawned on me that, like, I could play at HBCU because I felt like I was too good. Yeah. Like, I didn't know anybody that was good that went there. And, like, once I started getting that opportunity, I'm like, damn, I'm looking at it and, like, I could be the one to change all of that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, like, once I got there and I met my brother Jeremy Ingram, and Jeremy's from Charlotte. He's in Deville right now. He's the coach at 71st right now.
Wow, with Brandy. Okay.
He's the coach at 70. He's the head coach at 71st, and I'm proud of my brother. Like, that's my brother. So, but, like,
y'all the same graduating class?
yeah, we did everything together, bro. We came in together. And coming in, like, it was a whole bunch of dudes. We went to the East-West game, and it was in Greensboro.
Yep.
And, like, we've been playing against all of the top-ranked dudes our whole lives, for real. You know what I'm saying? So, like, competing, you couldn't see a drop-off. And, like, once I'm like, yo, and you just like me, bro. Like, not just talent-wise, but, like, you ain't backing down. Like, we feel like we bettered it. Like, me and you, we could do this. And, like, we sat down and talked about our goals for 4 years, and that turned into, like, us doing some stuff at Central that nobody has ever, you know, could ever imagine, for sure.
History in the making, all right? Tap in, Sports Betters Media. I am Hip Hop Mag, C11 Studios. Poobie, if you could choose any other school besides NCCU, what would have the school been?
Yeah, I would never even say that. You know what I'm saying? I would never.
Okay.
Nah, I couldn't even imagine myself nowhere. How I could answer that question that would, like, serve me, I guess.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go to NC State.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the Raleigh school.
Yes.
You know, I really enjoy it. I like Sidney Lowe as a coach. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I could stay home and play in the ACC and dominate. You know what I'm saying? And that's why my best game in college was against NC State.
Oh, and when TJ was there.
Yep, that was my best game ever. But part of it was TJ.
Yeah.
So I owe it TJ. You know, we'll get into that if we get into that in this. But, like, then part of it was, like, I felt like, man, I wanted a scholarship from y'all. Y'all ain't give it to me, so now I got to show y'all what I can do.
That's right.
But it was NC State. I wouldn't have, you know, now that I'm older, I wouldn't have went anywhere else. I see that, you know, it was destined for me to go to Central. So
it was destined,
you know.
And you stayed there all 4 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Tap in. That's what it do.
Sure.
That's what it do.
Sure.
Okay, tap in. Now, speaking of the NCAA, the changing rule from 19 to 18, now players can jump straight out of high school again. What you think about that?
I think just like anything, it's a good and a bad thing. Like, I think you're going to see great stories and you're going to see, you know, some fallout stories that didn't end so well.
Yeah.
But me personally, I'm all about choice.
Okay.
Like, I'm all about giving people the opportunity to make decisions for themselves.
That's right.
So I'm for it. I'm for it just because, like, you know, the more avenues that we have, and I think when I say that, I think that the NBA is predominantly black.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, that gives young people the opportunity to change their families' lives and change their lives. So I'm all for that. I think with that, I think the veterans and the older NBA guys that's been around and that understand it a little bit should be more hands-on with some of the young guys that's thinking about making that leap.
That's right.
So I think, you know, for that, I think that, you know, the older guys or the OGs or the vets should step in and you know, kind of help guys with that process.
You got to, because when it comes to money, a lot of kids at 19 never seen that much
Absolutely.
money before.
Absolutely. And my brother, I had a first row seat with my brother going through that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? John, that's my close friend, John Wall. That's my close partner.
Yep.
And, like, I seen it firsthand where we go from splitting Burger King to you can get what you want. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And, like, a lot comes with that when the main objective is to, you know, be the best being the best basketball player you can be.
That's right. Okay. John Wall, Poobie Chapman, Southside Raleigh. It don't get no better than that right there. Okay. Now, what's your thoughts on the Brittany Griner situation and her getting 9 years in a different country?
I think, like, I've been overseas. Okay. And, like, I think with anything that happens somewhere other than where you're from, I think you got to open your mind outside of what you think, what you're currently thinking.
That's right.
What I mean by that is, like, the laws that I think may be a little bit too tight here That doesn't apply over there. You know what I'm saying? So like when I would speak on that, of course, like I would say free Brittany Griner. Of course, she's a black woman.
Of course.
But I think with looking at these things objectively, you got to kind of look at, we don't know what goes on over there.
Exactly.
We don't know those laws. We don't know how to enforce it. So I think, you know, to protect ourselves when we going elsewhere, whether it's another country, whether it's another neighborhood, we got to adhere to a lot of things that may be changed, you know what I'm saying, once you go from location to location.
That's right.
And step lightly, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Got to stay on your toes when you go out the country. Okay, tap in. Should marijuana be legal in the NBA? Let's say, for example, if players have injury issues or mental health.
I'm all for choice, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't work too well with rules. I'm not really a rules guy.
Okay.
But I'm all for, you know, what makes sense. And if it makes sense and if it's helping somebody rather than hurting people, then I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for choice. So,
Plain and simple. Poobie, what does the city of Raleigh mean to you? Easy question.
Yeah, I think it kind of, what it means is like everything.
Yeah.
I think like what my shirt says is this is a brand that my brother Brock Young has. And I think, you know, the hat is me, the shirt, the Raleigh way is my brother Brock's. And I think just that statement alone or that phrase alone, the Raleigh way, means everything to me.
Yep.
Because, you know.
Shout out to Brock.
Shout out B Young, you know what I'm saying? It exemplifies everything that you hold true to yourself.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you go somewhere and somebody ain't never met somebody from Raleigh before, when they leave, you want them to be like, hey, I like Raleigh. Like, hey, I want to go to Raleigh. You know what I'm saying? Or when they meet somebody else from Raleigh, hey, I met this dude named whatever. You know, he was dope. Like, he was da-da-da-da. Like, that's what it means to me, where it left that impression on me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You go some places, or I know some people that grew up some places that they was ready to get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think, like, you know, the fact that my roots was planted here, I was able to travel and, you know, could have lived anywhere. But I felt that it was important to come back here and kind of change the narrative here as well.
That's right. It's all about change, okay? Now, what impact has coaching had on you since you've been at Enloe High School?
I think it expanded my level of understanding.
Okay.
Because I thought what I thought coaching was is completely different. Like now that I'm in it, it's completely different. Like I thought, when you show up to the game, you know enough about the game, you can coach.
Yeah,
which is true. You know what I'm saying? Like I could do that, but like learning these young dudes off the court, like learning their lives, learning what make like their decision making, and learning how to help them, and learning schoolwork and education and mental health and all of that stuff that goes into coaching. I never thought about it. I just thought my coaches didn't want me to showboat, you know what I'm saying? I just thought he didn't want me to throw no-look passes. But, like, it comes down to being disciplined. It comes down to realizing it's a time and place for everything. Like, those lessons that I can teach in basketball that goes off the court, like, I didn't understand them before, you know what I'm saying? So, like, what impact does it have? I think it allows me to see things in its totality.
Okay.
Rather than, you know, seeing and feeling like, okay, if I'm coaching, this is all basketball.
Yep.
As opposed to, like, this is basketball, but it echoes in life.
Yep.
Or, like, okay, I'm giving them pregame meal. That's all it is. Nah, once you teach them what they put in their bodies matters when it's time to perform. Like, I think coaching has showed me that, like, you know, everything is connected, and, like, be careful and be precise on how you put it out there.
Yep. Got to stay on your 10 and watch how you move.
For sure.
Okay. Now, if you weren't coaching, what would you be doing right now?
That's a great question. I just had this conversation. I think I'm touching on everything that I want to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think, like, that's a tough question because, like, I feel like I'm doing like I feel like I'm trying everything. With that being said, I just somehow stumbled upon a couple articles of DMX. That's my dog.
No,
but what I learned is I really enjoy articles. Like I enjoy journalism. I enjoy a story being told that keeps me there. Whether it's a podcast, whether it's a book, whether it's an article. And like I remember, it took me back to, like, I used to read magazines all the time. I have a gang of magazines. And like me and my mom would go to the grocery store, and I would run to the magazine aisle and try to get as many articles in by the time she finished grocery shopping, you know what I'm saying? And if it was a good enough article, if I could sell her on it, like when it was time to go to the line, like, yo, mom, this Slam magazine, yo, ma, this double XL got, if I could sell her on it, she'd be like, all right, get it. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't good enough, she'd be like, nah, we'll come back. You know what I'm saying? or maybe if we had the bread for it that week, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it was. But I think I would be into journalism. I write a lot, I read a lot, but like I think I like telling stories. I enjoy people's stories. I enjoy telling my own. I enjoy that aspect of it. So I would be in some form of journalism.
That's right. That's what my mom told me I was supposed to do. So
word.
That's what I might go back to school since I'm doing it now.
Word, for sure. Yeah, nah.
Yeah. Okay, tap in. What other hobbies does Poobie do when he's not coaching?
Shoot, I read a lot. Okay. I write. I try to converse a lot.
Yeah.
Like I try to have, you know, me and my brothers, we argue about everything, like literally argue. So like I have I'm really good at, I went to my major, I majored in psychology and I got a minor in philosophy. So like I love the brain. Like I love the way the brain work. I love why people do this. I love why this happens. I love it.
Think people can heal themselves?
Absolutely. I think we can heal ourselves. I think we hurt ourselves. I think it's all of that. I believe in all of that. So I think I enjoy conversing, but I also enjoy alone time because I'm like a figure.
Yeah.
And like I'm kind of, you know, accepting that I am that in that space.
You are.
I do a lot of showing face. Like I try to make myself, you know, as present as possible. So like it takes, I'm getting into like kind of not recharging my batteries, but making sure I have time for myself.
That's
you know what I'm saying? To
That's
make sure that my thoughts are my thoughts. Because regardless on what we think, like we're influenced.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, like we influence. So I want to make sure that I have enough time to influence my damn self.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They being influenced or influencing others. So.
Yep, that's for sure. Because I've been seeing you around the whole, every event we done been to. Word of God, the 5-on-5, Poobie right there in the corner.
For sure. So I try to. I think, you know, it's important. Like I say a lot, and I try to, you know, I try my best to practice what I preach because I believe in it. You know what I mean? I think I really believe that representation matters.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. You
know, I think our youth and the people that's underestimated, even our generation, like I think being present and representing the stuff that we're talking about, I think is important because we can talk about it all day. But if a kid is like, this, you know, Poobie just told me that I can be an entrepreneur. I haven't seen him or an entrepreneur in 2 weeks. Yeah. But this gang member said he can jump me in, and he done told me 3 times.
Wow.
So like, what's more prevalent, or what's being represented more?
That's right.
So we're gonna get mad at our kids, or we're gonna get mad at people for going by, you know, by making that decision. Yeah. But like, what options are we giving? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we putting on stuff every week, or not even, it ain't even gotta have a timestamp on it. But if we giving people, not even just the youth, if we giving people a different way to think, a different thing to do, then we can't, you know what I'm saying? Now we can talk about it all day until, you know what's prevalent. You can tell what's prevalent in the community by what's being shown.
That's right.
So if you go to a community, you see a whole bunch of businesses and black businesses and entrepreneurs, then you know what's prevalent in that community.
Yep.
If you go to that community and you see a lot of drugs and you see a lot of gang members and you see a lot of violence, you know what's prevalent in that community.
Yep.
And that's just honest. So, you know, if you want to change it, then be present and represent what you want to be shown.
That's right. Okay. Poobie dropping jewels. All right, tap in. What advice can you get to the youth that's coming up and want to follow in your footsteps?
I would say step in your footsteps. Like, I think what makes my path look so cool and sexy is that like nobody's ever done this before.
Yes, sir.
So like the flip side of that is like, this is not cool and sexy. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know, it may look that way, but like I step on stuff all the time with no shoes on, you know what I'm saying? And it hurt and it's tough. But I think like my thing would be just make sure that you walk in your own path. Yeah. Nobody has the answers for you, or like nobody has the answers. Yeah. We don't have the answers for this thing called life. Nobody does.
Kanye West said, you know what I'm saying?
We don't got it. We don't got it. You know what I'm saying? And I think like we hurting ourselves by thinking that, or like we're limiting ourselves by saying like, okay, I'm gonna follow this advice. Yeah. Because then when it don't work, hey, he told me to do this.
That's right.
And then if it do work, you can't really take credit for it because he told you to do it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
so if you
right.
walk your own path, you make your own mistakes. You can lead some people. You know what I'm saying? And it feel good when you get to that mountaintop, or not even the mountaintop. When you get to that level of success that you wanted, it feel good because you like that. I remember how many people told me da-da-da-da. Or I remember when I was sitting in it and it was painful. Like I ain't know if I was doing the right thing. But, you know, I think, like, for me, my advice would be to, you know, create your own path. It's enough people doing the same thing. So, you know, get in your lane and don't speed.
Yep, and stay authentic.
For sure.
All right. What's the biggest thing you can take away from this game that you learned?
I don't know about the biggest.
Okay.
But I think the thing that I took away that speaks to me and spoke to me the most is that, it's a quote that sums it up, but it's adversity introduces a man to himself. So, like, you know, everybody is the best teammate, the best friend, the best companion, the best boyfriend, girlfriend when everything's going good. But when adversity hit, who are you then? And whoever you are at that moment, that's who you are. You know what I mean? Like when it's chaotic, when it may not be when it don't feel the best, whoever you show up as in that moment, that's who you really are.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because in basketball, it showed me that.
Yeah.
You know, when you ain't playing good, when your teammate ain't playing good, who are you then? You know what I'm saying? When y'all lose a game, when y'all lose 2 games, when y'all don't win at all, who are you then? Because whoever you are in the moments of adversity is who you are. You got to face it. You can't run from it. And once you face it, I think you understand, like, even if we lose by 20, even if we take a loss, even if, you know, it's bad, if you still can remain the person you are in those moments, then you get to look at yourself and be like, okay, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It ain't no hiding from that, from adversity. And, you know, that's what I think makes this living thing sweet.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep, that's for sure. Hey, that is definitely the truth. Okay. If there's anything you can go back, would you change anything?
I kind of go in between this, like, you know what I mean? Not having no regrets and changing stuff.
Okay.
I think, like, the surface level part of me is like, hell yeah, like, what? I change a lot of stuff and then I'd be a millionaire right now and my life would be different.
Yep.
Like, the surface level, for sure, I'd change a lot. But the core of me and, like, you know, what's true to me is, like, of course not. Like, I'm supposed to be right here, right now. We all supposed to be right here, right now.
That's right.
We supposed to be in this moment. This is supposed to be what we talking about.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? And, like, I think it's tough really sitting in that and being in that in reality. Because in reality, you get lost. It's so many distractions. It's so much that, like, when you get to a higher level of, like, understanding and enlightenment and all of those trigger words nowadays, I think it's hard to really be in those moments. You know what I'm saying? But I think for me, I wouldn't.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean? I think I know I'm supposed to be here. I know we all supposed to be here. I know this is supposed to be this way.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, absolutely not. I think, like, the funny thing and, like, you know, the surface level is like, hell yeah, I want to go change this, make this investment to be a millionaire right now. But, you know, I'm supposed to be here. This is supposed to be where it's at.
Did you lose any friends on the way?
I didn't.
Didn't lose
I did. I got one homie that I lost. But for the most part, bro, I don't really, you know, I don't.
Same day one?
Yeah, I'm a pretty understanding dude, and I think, you know, from the beginning we ain't really have nothing. So, like, we kind of made a vow to each other, like, hey, listen, bro, we don't got nothing right now, so let's not let nothing come in the way. But yeah, for the most part, bro, I got the same group of guys that I knew since I was born, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, a couple guys came in, like Germ. I didn't meet Germ till college, but, like, I feel like I knew him. You know, that college struggle kind of adds some years. That kind of adds some years to your relationship.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, for the most part, I got the same squad.
That's it. That's
Sure.
it, Pooh. That's it.
Sure.
Is there any other projects Poobie's working on outside of coaching right now?
Yeah, shit, I got 1,000 of those.
Good.
I usually wouldn't say nothing about them, but why not? I'm working on a nonprofit, well, not even a nonprofit, a mentoring program called Hold the Door. So pretty much, it surrounds the youth, obviously. You know what I'm saying? It surrounds all ages, but for real, it's using my resources to the good. You know what I'm saying? If I got all of these businesses, I got all of these brands, I got all these people that's really influential and really dope.
Yeah.
That I think these kids that need all of those things don't even understand. So like, you know, I feel like I could possibly be a bridge for that.
That's right.
And I'm, you know, gonna try to, you know, show a different side of what Raleigh is and what this community is and what just any community is. You know what I'm saying? And
Come on, man.
so that I'm trying to launch that at the top of the year. I have a retail store called The Table. That like local brands, you know, whatever it is, whether it's clothing, skincare, whatever it is. My mom does jewelry and Crocs and custom stuff and all whatever it is. Is housed in there because I think a lot of times in our community, people got their own brands and got their own stuff, but I think it's dope to see it in the store, walk in and see your stuff on shelves and you making money without you even having to actively sell it. I done met so many dope people in the parking lot of Bahama Breeze for a hoodie, for a t-shirt, so you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, get that, you know, establish that. Of course, soul food. I do soul food every year. That's you know, about to start getting everything going for that. I have a league, a pro-am that I'm partnering with my partner Ray. Shout out my dog Ray. We do it. It's called Ground Zero Pro-Am. It's at Enloe High School.
Good. That was y'all shit?
Yeah.
Wow, very good. See, me and T were talking about that. We were like, man, we got to go. Man, we going next year for sure.
Nah, for sure.
Yes.
And next year it's gonna be some 910s in the building.
Yes.
Yeah. I talk. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm trying to get. We're in the midst of getting Cole in there and getting his squad. He's in every other league around here, and you know.
Yeah, of
so
course.
He'll probably be. He most likely as of right now, I'm sure he'll be in there. But so you know that was something that we threw together. This was the first year.
Yep.
So we put it together, and it was dope, bro. It exceeded all expectations.
Yes,
I knew it was gonna be crazy, but it was crazy. It was
Yes,
crazy.
it did.
So you know, ready for year 2 with that.
Yep.
And then, you know, like you said, getting my guys to a state championship. You know what I'm saying? That's you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely gonna put that on the table for sure.
How do you get your players respect? Like, how do you go about doing that?
Shit. I mean, I think like, you know, I feel like I can kind of.
Come with the territory.
Nah, not even. I think like before anything, like I respect them. Like before anything, like I damn who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't even want a lot of them to know who I am before I get the respect of them. You know what I'm saying? Because I respect y'all. Like, y'all here. Yeah. Y'all deserve respect. You know, at the bottom level, y'all deserve respect. You know what I'm saying? So I think with that first, you know what I'm saying, that's the first thing that happens. You know, when we respect each other, then we can develop our relationship. You can kind of understand that I'm really here to make you better. I'm not here. Yeah. You know, I don't get paid millions of dollars to be here. I don't get a lot to be here. I'm really just here to pour into you.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Your high school class to the class now.
I don't do that. I don't do that. I'm big on the not comparing thing. Like, just because I want to appreciate. Yeah. And I think naturally when you compare, it comes a level of depreciation where I'm like, well, they ain't tough enough. You know what I'm saying? But I think like, you know, I think my class was dope. You know, we was the beginning of the social media, the technical, the YouTube, you can go up here and see yourself. Who is this dude from down here? Oh, this dude is him. You know, and it was pure. Now I think, you know, the positive thing about now is like, and I think like the thing that I like most about these kids now is that like everybody feels like they're a superstar. You know what I'm saying? So like, the swagger is there. That's, you know, before we had swagger, we had grit. And now I think they get the swagger first and then the grit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I like both, of course, for sure.
There you go, man. Best podcast in the Carolina. You all witnessing history in the making right now. Tap in. All right. How did it feel when they put that banner up outside NCCU, man?
I don't know, bro. That like that. I'm really somebody that like I move through my accomplishments and I move through like the things that I do really fast, and you know I don't give myself a lot of grace and I don't give myself a lot of credit for a lot of stuff. Okay. But I think that right there kind of stopped me in my tracks for real, because like before that happened before I was 30. You know what I'm saying? So like everybody else outside of my brother, like everybody else, you know, they played in the 90s and 2000s and they 40 and 50 and, you know what I'm saying, 60 years old. Wow. So, you know, for me, I think I had to have done something right.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I'm saying? I had to.
Yes, sir.
And if I didn't then, like, you know, I'm continuing to do it now.
That's right.
But I think that, you know, I had 5 things written down when I got there, and that was one of them. You know what I'm saying? So for that to happen, like, I think I was just kind of wishing on the stuff that I felt like was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So to see that still, even right now, is insane to think about. You know what I'm saying? For sure. For sure. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure.
All right, tap in. Who's some NBA players you looked up to growing up?
Iverson.
Of course, I knew you were about to say that.
Iverson. Magic.
Yes.
Magic was first.
Good.
When I was young. I played point guard, so Magic was first. I
Yeah.
wore 32.
Yeah.
And then as I started coming into my own, Iverson, like, he was perfect for anybody that's in our generation. Like, come on, bro, you know what I mean? And you said NBA?
Yep.
Okay, well, yeah, those two are the ones that I'll go. I think, like, outside of the NBA, I have probably more influences than I did in the NBA. But
Very good.
I'm gonna skip to my Lou guy. Like, skip to my
We
Lou.
got him next.
I think that, like,
Him
you know what I'm
next.
saying, that he's a myth. So, like, the way that I carry myself now, like, I think naturally, like, I've embedded a lot of the stuff that I know about him in the way that I am. Like, whether it's, you know, the way that I play, whether it's the nickname, whether it's the aura, whether it's the demeanor, whether it's the you know, the fact that you humble when you are God to a lot of people. It's a lot, but Skip for sure. As I got a little bit older, I say Sebastian Telfair.
Ooh, yes, through the fire.
Yeah, through the fire. That got me and John through a lot. We used to watch that John but, you know,
Every
Bassy.
night.
And, like, he was the first one. He was the first one that I seen that, like, took the jump from, like, being a high school, like, taking it from basketball to business. And you got to see it live. Like, okay, Dad, you got to wear a suit. You got to have a smile. You got to carry yourself this way. No tattoos. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. Like, he was the first person that I got to see that I was like, okay, this is a thing that, like, could happen.
Yeah.
And, like, this is how it looks. This is how you kind of mature.
Yep.
And then, like, all of the dudes that I grew up with, like secretly, I hated all of them. Like, secretly, I wanted to be better than all of them. But, like, every single one of them was so dope to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, every single one of them. But for sure.
Yep, that's that competitive nature.
Yeah.
All right, tap in. What's your favorite TV show today in 2022? You watch TV?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
What's wrong with that?
Let me see. Yeah, nothing stick out to me. I'm a more of a
Snowfall, Power.
I'm all of that. I do
Good.
all. I would say
Good.
I would say I'd give it to Snowfall. I think
It's a lot out there now.
I think Snowfall is crazy. I think that's written well. I think the acting is good. I think the content.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's a black story. So,
Yeah.
you know, even though it's about what it's about, I think it's a black story. So I'm gonna go for that.
Man, you got my notifications blowing up right now. Okay. Favorite artist on your playlist right now? Who you got?
It's a local dude right now. It's my dog. His name's Southside Heat.
There you go.
Southside is my dog. That's
Give
my
it
dog.
to me. We done had him in here
That's
too.
my dog. That's my dog.
Come on, shouts out to
But
you.
I say I'm I'm a slower guy, so I like Rod Wave.
Okay.
I like Larry June.
Yeah, that's right.
EST.
That's right.
Yeah, so I like R&B, so it's a lot of R&B, you know, on my joint too, for
There
sure.
you go. Take that Primo Rice with you home and that Cardo.
Okay, for sure.
Straight out of Cali.
For sure.
Okay. Now, what does it take for a kid to make it to the next level and not be discouraged in the era where internet rules all?
I think it's embracing where you are. So, like, instead of focusing on the next level, focus on the level that you at.
Yeah,
And, like, this level is the most important level.
that's right.
Because like, without this level right here being A1 and solid and tied with a bow before you leave it, you're not gonna be able to go to the next level.
That's right.
So I think a lot of times the reason that people are discouraged when they get to or when they don't get to is because they was at a level that was perfect for them, and they was worried about the next level.
That's right. That's right. That's a fact. That's a fact. Okay, Poobie, who do you do this for when you wake up every day?
I think, like, the answer that everybody would expect is like, you know, people in our community and like, you know, my mom and my son. But like for me, to be honest, I do this for me. Yeah. Like that, you know, I'm not a selfish person at all, but like I do this for me. Like I think this is what this thing, you know what I mean, this short life that we got, like, you know, in the grand scheme of it, none of this stuff even matter. In the grand scheme, you know what I'm saying? We're in the year 2022. Yep. And if I live to be 120 years old, like that's still a snap. Like that's still fast in the grand scheme of it. So like, you know, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be perfect or to do this and to do that. When like in reality, like in real reality, like none of this even matter. Nobody don't care about what somebody did in 1922. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's dope, and like you want to think about it, and of course, but like you don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't really a thing. So like when I wake up, I want to make sure that like I'm making myself happy. Yeah. I'm honoring the things that like I hold true to myself. I don't want to ever slip on no codes that I have. I don't want to slip on no values that I have. I don't want to slip on no morals that I have. And I think it's easy to do that when you living or you doing something for somebody else.
That's right. That's right. You better tap in, okay? All right. And Poobie, tell all the viewers where we can find you at on all platforms.
Oh, man. At Sir Poobie32 on everything. So, you know, on Instagram, at Sir Poobie32. On Twitter, at Sir Poobie32. On Snapchat, same thing. On Facebook, it's just Poobie Chapman, POOBIECHAPMAN.
All right. Hey, you heard it here first. Sports Betters Media. I am Hip Hop Mag. Southside Raleigh. Poobie Chapman.
Let's get it. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you. For sure.
Yes!
Yeah. Come on now. We on it. We ain't playing no games.
I forgot to ask what's your favorite NFL, NBA team, but it's all good.
The Cowboys. Cowboys.
Okay.
So you know I'm a true fan. How
about them Cowboys? My dad hates you. You said that.
Come on now. You a Cowboy fan. You know I'm a true fan because we shooting bad.
That's it.